The U.S. has reportedly carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and captured its president. The Pentagon confirmed precision strikes, calling it a limited operation against command centers. Special forces extracted the Venezuelan president from Caracas without civilian casualties, according to the CIA. The current crisis involves military conflict, with U.S. strikes escalating tensions and creating a power vacuum. Comprehensive economic blockades are crippling oil exports. Diplomatic tensions are fractured, and regional implications include refugee crises and struggling coordination among organizations like the OAS. Venezuela's political evolution includes the Chavez era, Maduro's rise amid economic crisis, and the disputed 2024 elections that led to international non-recognition. The current military intervention follows a humanitarian justification under the TIAR treaty, with Venezuelan armed forces starting to fragment. Our analysis reviews the Monroe Doctrine's revival, historically defining the U.S. sphere of influence. The contemporary application justifies intervention under a narco-terrorism pretext. This raises concerns about international law, sovereignty violations, and U.S. geopolitical strategy amid rising influence from China and Russia. Economic warfare mechanisms escalate from targeted individual sanctions to sectoral restrictions on oil and banking. Further steps include asset seizures, naval blockades, and complete economic isolation, cutting Venezuela off from global markets and the SWIFT system. The geopolitical impact of Venezuelan oil is significant, given its large reserves. Sanctions and instability have reduced oil production, affecting global supply chains and U.S. strategic interests. Narco-terrorism allegations include expanding cocaine production and maritime trafficking routes. Documented cartel connections and regime complicity are cited as a U.S. security threat, justifying military intervention under UN Security Council Resolution 1373. The military escalation timeline started with initial boat strikes in early 2023, followed by a full naval blockade. Oil tanker seizures and land facility attacks preceded a comprehensive air campaign. The timeline culminated in the Maduro capture operation in July 2023. Regional power dynamics show a significant U.S. military presence, including over 15,000 troops deployed and the USS Gerald Ford carrier. Regional responses vary, with Colombia expressing concerns while Cuba denounces the strikes as state terrorism. The intervention raises significant constitutional and legal challenges. Issues include congressional authorization concerns, war powers challenges, potential UN Charter violations regarding the use of force, and arguments against violations of national sovereignty. The Venezuela crisis is part of a great power competition. China's Belt and Road investments and Russia's military cooperation challenge U.S. containment strategies. Venezuela's pivot to Eurasian powers highlights multipolar dynamics and reduced U.S. hemispheric dominance. Economic sanctions have severe humanitarian consequences. They led to hyperinflation, mass migration, and a collapse of public services. Over 7 million Venezuelans have fled, creating a significant regional refugee crisis, as demonstrated by the migration distribution. Intelligence and security implications cover extensive intelligence gathering and special forces deployment, including the Delta Force capture mission. Counterintelligence measures and assessing regional security threats are crucial, alongside addressing homeland security concerns regarding potential retaliation. Opposition politics are centered around leaders like Maria Corina Machado, who advocates for a peaceful democratic transition. The electoral legitimacy crisis stems from the widely criticized 2024 elections, with the U.S. recognizing Edmundo Gonzalez as the legitimate winner. The crisis is accelerating a shift toward alternative power structures. This includes BRICS economic cooperation, a revival of the non-aligned movement, and South-South cooperation. Increased regional integration is challenging U.S. hegemony toward a multipolar governance system. A comparative analysis of regional interventions examines historical U.S. military actions in Latin America, such as those in Chile, Nicaragua, Panama, and Haiti. These interventions provide context for understanding the current Venezuelan crisis, which is justified under narco-terrorism allegations. The crisis impacts energy security and global markets, leading to oil price volatility and supply chain disruptions. Countries are using strategic reserves and seeking alternative suppliers. Importantly, this has accelerated global investment in renewable energy sources. Diplomatic escalation involves bilateral tensions, multilateral consultations through organizations like the OAS, and UN involvement via emergency sessions. Regional responses are coordinated by groups such as the Lima Group, while legal proceedings address alleged human rights violations. UPSC examination perspectives require applying international relations theories, foreign policy analysis frameworks, and understanding conflict resolution mechanisms. Key concepts include economic diplomacy, oil geopolitics, and analyzing contemporary geopolitical trends like great power competition. This analysis provides a comprehensive understanding of Venezuela-U.S. relations from an international relations perspective, which is essential for civil services preparation and contemporary geopolitical analysis.